for the night.
Dies.
And yeah, look, I mean,
There we go.
the ward spots him out. At least Annex will get the ward. So, bit of experience shared amongst 4 people. In the last game, or the game before, Nightstar actually found out, thanks to Dagda giving me a DM, I found out the Swain, who mission's okay for now. I remember we saw a Swain in mid get level 2 very early. And, you know, it was the ward in jungle from, what game was it? What game am I thinking about? Was it the J
That was
team
the
game?
DCG. J team.
Yeah. So they
Dagda
left
coming
the
in
ward
clutch.
for him to get the experience because it's around about who's around it. As Gemini mission will focus on the game at hand. Try to walk in. I mean, this brush setup is great.
How
with
long do they
Renata.
wait?
I think you just go for the invade. You commit at this point, right? Top doesn't need to TP. I guess not. Okay, I guess not. Late
How long
jungle
do we
start.
wait?
I mean, Alex is going to be leaving. Look at where Trundle is. Trundle will have the first start here. If only by a couple of seconds. Gemini is just thinking, but now he's going to begin as... Okay, it's about a second over Alex for the time being.
Alex is going to start out his Raptor camp, so going for the extra wave clear, of course, so you have the Q start. So it makes a lot of sense, especially when your bot lane isn't going to be helping you out with a leash. And this bot lane will be really important to watch because Koala has gone for the Halo Blade, so definitely a lot of trade power, and this was very intentional lead up for this bot lane matchup for CFO, right? They had the opportunity to deny away the Renata pick, which has been incredibly powerful, still very strong into an Aphelios, right? Because if the stars align and you land the ultimate onto Aphelios, because he doesn't have cleanse, he could easily just two-shot his entire team. Because they're all ranged champions during extremely fragile. So he gets 2 or 3 crits with Inferno. Goodbye, CFO. You just died to your own AD carry.
True. I mean, Sean can do a lot of his own work to his own team, as you said. I want to take a step back because I feel like seeing Ashe support yet again for some people might be confusing. I feel like this champion's been in a good position in the support role for at least a year. Halo Blade's been adapted by some of the pros. Over in LPL2, I think Ming actually picked it up. As I'll pause on that, because Gemini is actually going to move into the enemy jungle on top of Alex. Looking for the Smite Steal here, where he's already got the blue buff, but instead we'll just take away the Scuttle himself. So Gemini takes this while Alex eventually gets his own blue. I'm going to come back to this Night Star because it's something that I play a hell of a lot. No, I'm not, because Mission's going to get knocked back in. And Apex with some really good trades. Great scatter of the week from Mission on the way out. And now I am. Yes, I'm committing. Halo Blade is so good against short-range matchups, dude. Let me tell you, early damage from Ashe plus utility you get on auto attacks is just so insane. Like, as long as you don't get handshaked, Koala will have a great time.
Yeah, and if it's a matchup that you can't exactly walk up to, you just run comment, right? So, in lane, Ashe is such an annoying champion to deal with. And he's really proven a point here. Fortunately, though, you know, Annex is pretty experienced, so he still chugging through his potions, but keeping up in the CS. We'll have to go ahead and start a recall, though, and that's going to give a little bit of room here, but he immediately picks up the life steal to add extra sustain and try and keep himself propped up, but doing a good enough job in the farming department to get that life steal along with really everything else he wanted, the extra utility he has.
Oh, good sizing shove. Meanwhile, the mid lane Mission has to flash away, but the shove flash from Alex. Maybe looking for a different angle. Apex flashed as well as the threaded volley hits max range, but that's double flash from mid jungle. I mean, both poorly executed.
That, I mean, just like in the drafts, right? We were talking about, hey, CFO just baited out this Renata. That was Mission big braining it because he flashed in the wrong direction, so then Alex would push him towards his tower in the right direction. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a good scat of the week from Mission, I guess. You know, but just unfortunate to watch that play out. Impunity, they're mid jungle losing flash and losing those summoners before we get to see, you know, this level 6 mark hit. And remember, we talked a little bit about
Mission's
lane
close to
versus,
6.
Apex, yeah, Mission has kill threat. I mean, Mission will have kill threat for sure. He's got first strike. There you go.
Yep.
Just
Bye.
pops the ulti
Bye.
and first blood. Mission
wait.
dead though.
Oh.
Really good seismic shove in return.
Yeah, that's actually a really great answer coming in from Apex, but that was so easily planned from Mission. He knew his level 6 timing, goes ahead, uses the minion dematerializer to hit the level 6 spike right there. Dematerializes the cannon minion and instantly just goes ahead, presses R. Easy does it. And Apex, fortunately, he reads the situation well enough that he hits that seismic shove back to at least trade back, but it does mean that, you know, his lane state isn't going to be great. So now he's in a position to just say, hey, screw it, got ultimate, let's attack the side lanes.
Yeah, needs to get a move on. I will note the push in where the wave was, as you were saying. Mission denied a full wave of minions against Apex, so there is going to be a CS lead in the mid lane. But as you said, moving to one of the side lanes, going to bot nice and early here for Impunity's mid laner. And you can see already, I mean, Mission's not having the ult, not as much pressure as good trading here from Shun down bot side. But Impunity want to make this dive happen. Alex, without the Keeper's Verdict, though, needs to kind of change fast because it feels like it is another element of the dive here for Impunity on their turf.
And Jackpot making his way down into that top river does spot out Gemini, which means that, hey, they could set up for a top play. I will definitely respect that, especially with Mission leaving his lane. And now it looks like CFO, they want to try and steal away the blue buff. Unfortunately for them, blue buff not available. And that means I think Impunity are going to try and set up for a blue buff fight.
Yeah, Jack's moving down again. Mission having his ult back up, though. A lot of fear coming through. The pings are actually going through with potential of topside, but Shun and Koala are doing well enough. I mean, look at the slows. They just run them down, and without those ultis for the turn, there's nothing Impunity's bottom lane can do.
Yeah, and you talked about, hey, for this Ashe-Renata matchup, if you miss the handshake, it's kind of donezo. And that's exactly what happens when he misses the handshake, and then Ashe just goes to town. And CFO, they can just run you down, essentially.
Oh, wow. There's going to be so many plates as well. I mean, the perfect guns for turret plating.
Cash.
And with an Ashe, yeah, lots of it. So much. Like, you'd be surprised how fast Ashe support pushes out turrets too. So, thanks so much. Shun gets so much. 3 plates taken with a 15 CS lead. And meanwhile, CFO aren't even committing to that side of the map with a great killer, a Meganar, a flash gone too. It's all going on for Impunity.
They can dive. Poppy is not there to try and support this. So if Mission gets here fast enough, they could still look to dive. And now they're actually going to turn and go for a pick.
Weaver's wall needs a seismic shove. A good hit up from Jackpot here against the wall. Comes together.
Chain.
And Impunity with a 3-man light it all up together. Gemini now running away with the subjugate, has to burn his own flash as Rest just used the Meganar, so he won't be able to contribute too much. So good response here from Impunity with a great roam time from our Apex as we see it in chat across the arrow bar.
Doesn't quite land, but damage still done, right? Because Shun is just able to get 4 plates. When so much attention is being drawn up in his top side, trying to, you know, get this Jax going. And for good reason, for the side of Impunity, right? You want to get this Jax off to a right foot. You can easily snowball this matchup if Poppy's able to get in position, and you know a dive is trying to get forced by Mission. But because it gets to be an isolated bot 2v2, Shun, Koala, this is why you have Shun, right?
Yep.
You just hard stomp lane. And that's exactly what they are doing. Out to a 2-wave differential along with 4 plates to their name. This is incredibly terrifying Aphelios coming into the mid game.
It's just what we expect from Shun. I mean, this is the more reliable AD carry in my mind. I feel like for CFO, Atlan didn't have amazing performances, and as you said, the drafting capabilities just don't feel as there. I mean, I feel like now you have 3 very strong lanes. The CTBC flying Oyster, and hence why this team is looking like a top-tier team again. As, you know, against Impunity in this early game, it has been more about CTBC flying Oyster. We saw that great play at the top side with the Weaver's Wall, but apart from that, the lanes are still burning. And they're burning in favor of CFO with 20 CS, big lead in mid, now towards Dragon, meaning Shannon Chris arrows up, and look, Winnie doesn't have his ult. Great scout of the week, sent away his mission though, so at least buying some time, but for CFO, that ulti's down for the cost of a Dragon that's only just spawned and they don't have any vision control around it.
Yeah, and Winnie's really just been harming himself. He takes poor trades, misses the handshake. As a result, he continuously just has to sack EXP. So he's still level 5. I don't know how close he is to level 6, but until he hits that break point, it's just way too hard for them to actually turn and look for a fight. So CFO, they get this Dragon for free. In Impunity, they're down 2,000 gold. You need to find some play to get things back into their favor, and right now, like, the only objective available is that Rift Herald, and they are sending Talia top.
Make this dive happen. I mean, trying to bait Rest in his jackpot, but Rest not
He
taking.
jump
He's
over.
already used the hop, so he does have to flash. Great timing from Apex, and this is why we focus on the mid laner of Impunity. I mean, making a lot happen. One of the most proactive Talias of today.
Yeah, probably one of the most proactive Talias we've seen all split. A lot of our Talias have been pretty conservative with their ultimate usage, saving it for objectives.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen these moves before objectives, or at least before objective fights. However, at the same time, because you've set resources up to try and get this top Herald, you lost first brick to Aphelios. Now Aphelios is going to be sent up towards this top lane, try and claim as many of those plates as he can in this top side. So for Impunity, this is a small timing window. They have to just get what they can top side, and they get a sizable chunk at the very least.
Yeah, so some gold over to Jackpot, who I would say is the most fed member, but even with a kill is 30 CS down. It's actually Apex who is leading the gold charts, but look at the difference. 700 gold just between him and Mission. That's all the CS leads coming through, and even though you're able to get a bit more, I like the call out here, Nightstar, of Shun and Koala. Having really nice lane allocation here for CFO. Top side is exposed for plating, and he's got a Gale Force too at this point, so that turret plate is going to be up for grabs quite easily.
Yeah, Mythic completed by both of those bot lane champs, Gale Force and Imperial Mandate. This is where really big spikes happen. So frustrating to play against a Mandate Ashe, and yes, if you put it in the bot lane role, it doesn't exactly scale well, but in the support role, very cheap itemization, a lot of damage that you don't expect from that support position.
I mean, Mandate as well with the ability haste. His arrows on a 37-second cooldown timer, gets the jacks here. Ulti flies through, Sean just gets more shurikens off the back of it, but now the wave getting set up as that dive at least being negated by Impunity. Remember, the Koala's going to have an ult. By the time this wave gets pushed in, turret goes down, and they fight over the next objective. It doesn't matter. That arrow is literally not on a cooldown.
Yeah, and Shun only one hit away from getting that tower, close enough to get the extra gold. Like, this man is so far ahead, and for Impunity, it's going to be difficult for them to get onto the back line. Okay, Alex was in trouble, but, you know, hammer time.
He has himself a smite coming up as well. It's contesting over the blue buff, the small wins that are needed here, while meanwhile on the side lane, Rest going to get seismic shoved towards the direction of Apex here. If he walks back in, Rest will ult him, but he's going to be okay for now. So while the side lane antics continue, you can see that, you know, Shun's still in the side, still on top side, excuse me. Mission's mid, and all the waves are under control while there's nothing up but a dragon for now, and Alex actually is going to be shoving in Gemini, but they're hoping they pick the perfect window. However, Pillar, beautiful. Going to keep him safe.
Yep, Trundle. Pretty good against these champions that don't really have a lot of hops. As boom!
Got him. Cleanse. Okay, well, with mission in
Big
range,
value.
you got to respect it. I mean, that's the power of Ash. You sit in base, you press R, and if you hit someone, you know,
They're
who,
stunned forever.
like ally nearby, yeah, they're stunned forever. You get so much free damage off. It's just such a good bit. People need to play it in the solo queue. It feels like free low if you can aim.
Yeah. As we do get a return tower at the very least. It's going into the hands of Jackpot. Again, we kind of highlighted this is sort of their win condition, which unfortunately kind of leaves Annex out to dry on this Kalista pick, which Kalista from behind is definitely a different animal than Kalista from ahead. Definitely can do a lot more. However, still able to provide the utility to allow Winnie perhaps the opportunity to land big.
Oh, mission. That was
Takeover.
So nice. Winnie coming in. Big goal.
Takeover?
Takeover, yeah. He's going to get himself a mid laner as they find Gemini as well for the kill. But for CFO still waiting in brush. I mean, look, scat of the week again.
Oh, wait, the turn.
Outplays it, and now he's going to get knocked up, and he's dead. Mission getting knocked out after such a good little setup. And Impunity with 5 alive. Make the plays happen with this Poppy.
That's the power of Poppy. Even though it hasn't exactly been a stellar early game coming in from Alex, he hasn't done a ton of work. Still been big at that moment, and now they get themselves an objective bounty. Still down 2,000 gold, but they are finding picks, and picks are the way you get back into this game. As we get to see how things transpire, Winnie flashes forward with the handshake and leads then with the hostile takeover and carves out a large amount of space. And that AoE is more than enough to zone Shun off. And then they're so split. Mission picked off. Jackpot buys enough time. Counter-Strike, of course, dodge very good into Philios and buys enough time to finish off that kill on the side and turn for the objective.
And remember, like, it's not phase rush Syndra. You know, we're not getting, you know, when Syndra was big in the meta, electrocute, phase rush, like, those seem to be the two to play. You know, it is a first strike Syndra, so you don't have any of that utility coming from your keystone.
Yep.
That helps him get quick burst trades and then just run the other way. So caught out by the seismic shove costs a lot here for CFO when they were dragon stacking, when they had the early game gold lead. Impunity now taking one off of them and slowing down that early Mountain Soul for things like the Gnar, the Trundle. Feels pretty impactful to talk about because now Impunity actually have options with their Mythics on the board too and another Herald, plus the, you know, the Weaver's Wall we've seen.
Yes.
Impunity can play these sides so well.
Yeah, and now with Mountain Rift on the table, right? That makes these objective fights very, very dangerous because all the extra terrain means that both of these teams need to get into river early to give themselves that extra room to play with. Otherwise, they are just stuck in these choke points, and the setup around these choke points is just so insane coming in from both of these teams. Now Rest, he's got 1v5.
Oh my god, they're all here for Rest. He's gonna edge out on Meganar in a second. A two-man ulti, he's getting Alex, buying time. Still alive for now, he flashes away. Maybe not worth the flash there, Rest, but he's bought enough time. While CFO, they've got hitters both mid and top with a Herald. Actually, this could be worse.
Shun, I mean, it's definitely worth it for Shun, right? Because he's going to get a solo turret.
600 gold.
Tier 2 turret to his name. So this man, like, all eyes are on Shun when it comes to these fights. Because he has pretty much all of CFO's gold lead right now.
Yeah. I mean, 0-0-0. It's such a surprise. A 210 CS at 20 minutes into the game. As that camera pans bot, though, Jackpot getting a response turret. So 2 for the price of 1, but Rest also goes down and burns a flash. Worth it because we've got Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. Rest won't have that summoner for the Mega Gnar. Baron's now up as well. And Impunity are trying to set themselves up around this objective. And you can see already trying to get themselves priority so that they can make the same play they made before, which is relying on Winnie, relying on Alex, and using Apex to just move around the map.
Collector now finished on Shun, so he's got a pretty sizable 2-item power spike here. The only issue is the front line he's dealing with can be a bit difficult to navigate around. Right? You've got the Poppy with the Chem Tank completed, then you also have to deal with Jackpot with a completed 2 items, a lot of HP to try and burn through. Not to mention the fact that he can just dodge all your autos. So when it comes to setting up for this next objective, again, both teams will need to try and get there first. Otherwise, it will be difficult to get out through these choke points. And now a teleport is going to be forced.
Arrow, you're going to see him. Arrow in time. No, he's gone. He's gone. Okay, so TP burnt from Jackpot, getting caught out in the side lane. 45 seconds before Dragon. They just moved down.
Yeah, now it's going to be the rotations towards this Dragon. Mountain Soul going to be really important for both of these squads. For Impunity, it's going to give them that extra durability to get into a fight. On the flip side, for CFO, if they get this Mountain Soul, it makes them really hard to burst out. And that's essential for 4-range champions.
How do you
They've got a lot of control
ward? They did it all at the same time. Well, Impunity definitely have vision in that brush, as Alex is going to be called out.
Oh my God.
Weak, and the
He's
range.
gone.
When playing at range, my God, the CFO get the job done quick. There goes the jungler. Dragon, Baron, what would you like to take, CFO?
Yeah, that's the question. Without a jungler on the other side, it's very difficult for the side of Impunity to try and flip. So they just feel like they have to just go for the other objective. But now CFO, they're already on the Baron. They chunked it out pretty heavily.
Weaver's Wall winning.
Oh, they're pretty split.
Feels like it's going to be everything. Yeah, I mean, Gemini and Rest aren't doing enough damage. Trying to buy time for Alex, or maybe just get themselves a witty ultimate. Handshake not connecting. Hostile takeover. Does, though, in front of the Baron. Waiting for it as Jackpot jumps in, but the pillar makes him flash as Sean is going to go forward. Running at him with a good size
good lockdown.
In response, Apex trying so hard.
Oh, they're so low.
Game. And CFO will be
Alex
the
is
Baron
here.
as Alex is coming through. Gemini backing in a silly place.
Can they chase?
They can keep on going. However, waiting for the scatter leak from Mission. Impunity back off. They're in front of the Baron, but they want to go and take the Dragon before Impunity reset, rewind, and recharge.
They have to sprint there. Their health bars aren't exactly in a great place, so if Rest is able to delay this long enough, and he's building a lot of Narbar off of just that Scuttle Crab, could be enough to stall out, but will be forced off, and they will be able to get themselves Dragon. Now they have to be weary of an immediate turn for the Baron buff as we get to see the replay. Really nice Weaver's Wall to split Shun off of that Baron buff, which is the main damage source to take the Baron. And when he gets a pretty good ultimate with the hostile takeover, unfortunately, the duration just not that long. And buys them time, but that's all it really buys, as Apex, he's the key player. He's the key factor. Landing that seismic shove, game-changing to how the rest of the fight goes.
Here we go again, though. I mean, we come back and Apex has his wall up again. I mean, this Talia has been everything for Impunity here, trying to get themselves to 4 wins.
Oh, they're
on
split!
The Baron, they're split again. Gemini needs a smite, secures it, but they're left in their lonesome while Shun starts bringing out the shurikens. Look at that! As Rest goes over the wall, his flash available. Meganar too.
Green White's perfect.
Winning 1 shot away, and he'll be sniped down. Rest finds it in the end, while Annex is just trying to survive. Apex is over the wall, and Mission cleans up that Callista. TP to get him out, and it was close from Impunity, but all it takes is Sean being able to play at range.
There's just no answer for this Aphelios pick. They can't get reliable dive focus, and Alex ends up trying to go for the fight instead of trying to flip for maybe a Baron steal. And Impunity, they kind of get cross-eyed a little bit because of Alex's decision. He looks for the fight, and the rest of them, they turn towards the Baron to try and get a steal or perhaps kill Gemini before he's able to get the smite and turn it into a true 50-50. I'm sure we'll get a replay. Weaver's Wall, actually.
Oh, the arrow mid-wall. Koala, that was well aimed. A good stop here from Apex, who was chasing up the pick. And, you know, Impunity are trying to clear away vision in this top side. No Dragon up and available, at least stopping any of the play from CFO. But, you know, if it goes any further, look at the control wards up in that top side. TP from Mission available, not Rest. If they want to pick up the pieces, they can. And speaking of which, Gemini is here, but will be spotted out by a control ward. However, Winnie has no flash. Winnie has no flash. And all Mission has to do is press R. Face Call's greatest scout of the week is respond. Wait. Winnie goes back in. What? Whoa. Winnie, we need to talk. We do need to talk. Okay, now you support step in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and your biggest tool of the hostile takeover is trying to deter the game from ending is now just removed out of your hands. Well, now we are going to have a siege. Apex!
Seismic shove. Again, Apex going through. Sean Gale forcing forward. Look at this guy. He's feeling it. Atlan sitting on the bench, and it's getting cold over there because Sean isn't going anywhere at this point. CTBC flying Oyster all of a sudden. 9,000 gold lead. And CFO looking like a top team again. We've had some moments here from Impunity, but I feel like off the back of Apex and Alex working so well together, the CTBC flying Oyster have come in strong, and Sean Mission, standout moments in this game as we go to Meganar shortly. Rest wants to end it here as the range is coming in handy once again. Rest with the two-man against the broken Nexus turret. Seismic shove still on point as Gemini is taking the damage, but they put Rest in closer to almost kill Jackpot. Koala with his snipe. Sean not feeling confident. CTBC flying Oyster ain't going to end. They're going to walk away and play the safe game, as Rest backing there would have just been silly.
Certainly tempting fate there, as Dragon is up in 50 seconds. So CFO going for the recalls right now. Get that reset. They've got plenty of gold to play around with. Jackpot could just be dead. Okay. Not going to be dead. I thought Mission would go ahead, pull the trigger, throw down the ultimate, but not to be.
Yeah, unfortunate. But look, you know, at this point, we got Dragon coming up. I mean, CTBC flying Oyster, as I was saying before, need to dot the I's, cross the T's. Like, we have a 4-item Aphelios here. No Infinity Edge, but who cares? Double.
He's got GA.
Yeah, Collector, LDR.
Not going anywhere.
And the means to end this one right here. Here we go. Rest once again jumping forward. He has flash available. And with the whole team coming in, he's ready to send it down. I mean, just wait for Sean. That's the person we'll see who will go force forward yet again.
Sean is where all this damage is loaded in. Yes, everyone else does bring a little bit here. It's all about him. For Impunity, they need some sort of big CC to land. Level 2 hostile takeover. That could make a difference. But
well,
has to go.
How can CFO get in range of it? One person, but it's only the Ash, and Winnie's dead yet again as Jackpot jumps in. No one touching Sean. No one is hitting Aphelios. A free ulti. He's rocking the Viper skin and even playing like him as well. Flashing forward. Range comes through clutch. Sean is 7-0-2. And CTBC flying Oyster will move up towards that big old bubble at the top of the standings after what has just been a great win streak to watch.